Well, hello there, my fellow rushers. How are you doing today? KingMax here, and today we're continuing on with the last challenge. Last time we were able to beat the original Kingdom Rush with 17 towers. How many towers do we need in this game? In Frontiers. How many towers? Well, without any further ado, let's jump in and find out. Yeah, but before we begin, we have to explain the rules of the challenge real quick, so here you go. Rule number 1, we're beating the main campaign, which is, level 1 to level 15, and the campaign stage only, not heroic and iron challenges. Rule number 2, we're playing on veteran difficulty, aka the highest difficulty in this game. Rule number 3, certain heroes are not allowed, and by certain I mean we're not allowing Bonhard, Dante, Ashbite, and Shatra. Everyone else is allowed, but these four are a big no-no. And as far as the other rule is considered, which I haven't really made up my mind from the last video, but basically I can use the bonus towers that I get on every stage. However, I will not be adding them to the total number of towers. They're just a bonus tower, and they should be free technically. So yeah, without that out of the way, let's jump in and see how far we can get. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty easy. I mean, look at that. Level 1 is so easy, I don't even click on the towers. Like, look at that. The build here sign is still here. I didn't even consider buying a new tower. Like, wow. What an easy challenge has been so far. And yeah, Captain Blackthorn is just shredding everything for now. He's doing a pretty decent job. And yeah, here goes Malagar, and yeah. We already know, we've seen you before, get out. Level 1 defeated. Level 2, however, was for some reason kinda difficult. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe it's because of the hero choice, but yeah, as you can see, it's towards the last few waves it gets kinda messy. I don't know why, but it just does. Like, the amount of wolves is just really huge, and as you can see, I end up using Darina Fire pretty late there, and that could be really problematic. But the main issue here is Captain Blackthorn. His barrel, the second ability, has terrible aim. I mean, look at what's gonna happen here. Look at that aim. What was that? Thank you. Thank you, Blackthorn. Now we lost 5 lives. Well, I definitely am not gonna use you ever again, so get out. Now, for this one, funnily enough, I decided to give Cronon a try. Because, some people say he has some good sides and all, but, like, what's the good thing about this guy? Like, look at that. Look at this. Is it supposed to be a decent hero? I don't know. To me, he's just a weaker version of Ulrich. Sure, he provides quite a bit of stalling, and, the Stampede is kinda decent, but look at that. Look at this Stampede, it doesn't even shred to the wolves. What a disappointment, so I end up switching to Bruxa. And Bruxa just destroys everything, like, look at that. Night and day differences. If there's one thing that I like about Frontiers, is the free heroes. The free heroes are awesome, or at least half of them. Like Ulrich and Bruxa, 10 out of 10 heroes. I mean, is Bruxa the best free hero overall, like in any game? I would say yes. Like, she's amazing. Her abilities are what makes her a really interesting hero. Sure, her basic stats are not like too special. She has like 350 health and 17 to 52 or 53 damage, I don't remember correctly. But it was somewhere around there. And she's pretty decent. The main thing is her first 3 abilities are awesome. The first one is basically allows her skulls, the skulls that fly around her, to do extra damage. The second one increases their damage, because, I mean, basically what happens is, each skull has like 7 or 8 attacks, it was somewhere around that. I read that on the wiki before, but I can't remember the proper number. But I'm pretty sure it was after 7 attacks, the skull expires and it just, how do I say it, it just launches itself towards the nearest enemy. And it does a pretty decent damage. I think it was like 54 damage, which is not bad. And the next one just increases the maximum amount of skulls the chicken has up to 5. And when you have 5 skulls attacking with you is awesome. And they can attack while she's moving, so that's really unique. And her other 2 abilities are just, delicious. The first one is the Dread Aura. Basically, if an enemy gets close to her, he gets slowed down by 30%, and he also takes 1 damage per second, which is something that I was never aware of before, but apparently she does that, which, it could be helpful. Even though 1 damage is pretty much insignificant for the most part, it's still something. And the other ability is basically the one where she holds the voodoo doll and just taps it. That's basically her voodoo magic. And what happens is, she affects up to 6 targets of the same enemy. Let's say, for example, we have like 6 wargs. Or these warhounds, sorry, that's what they're called. And she uses the voodoo magic. 6 of them are gonna take 120 true damage, which is ridiculous. And it doesn't have that bad of a cooldown, which is making it even better. So yeah, Bruxa is ridiculous, to say the least. And here I tried to use her, you know, for the most part. I know I can use this bonus tower and it will not be taken into account, but whatever. I want to see her true potential. I mean, she's been surviving for now with a pretty decent pace. I mean, look at that. She's destroying everything. The only issue here is that I kinda misused the Rain of Fire there. The Scorpions are just a little bit too tanky, and Bruxa ends up running out of skulls, and unfortunately here, the Dune Worms are coming in a little bit too late, and yeah. We lost quite a few lives there, but whatever. She survived, and I was able to beat the level with just her, which is pretty impressive. And now for this one, here, we had to use some towers, man. I got Kaz, and, you know, he's been doing a pretty decent job. Is he the best hero? Probably no. I would say he is kind of a questionable hero. He's kind of like Ignis, but if Ignis took heroin, like, this guy is really uncontrollable. He just rushes like halfway through the map and just, you know, it gets pretty messy with him. It's really difficult to control him. And yeah, I mean, the rush is pretty decent in a way because it affects a lot of enemies and it does some damage in the process, but for the most part it just makes him really inconsistent. And you can't really keep him at the same spot for a really long time because eventually he will just rush to somewhere else. Or the teleport, which is one of his other abilities. The teleport is basically kinda iffy ability, to say the least. The main issue with the teleport is that if he's at the very back of the map, you know, if he's on low health and he needs to regenerate, and he teleports, let's say, someone really strong, like let's say a brute, for example, and he's all the way at the exit, you're not taking down this brute. Like, that's the sad reality of it. You just die, you lose 5 lives, and that sucks. So yeah, we switched from Kaz back to Bruxa, and Bruxa has been doing a pretty decent job so far. And yeah, I mean, sure, I lost 1 life there, but whatever. It is what it is. We're not trying to beat it flawless victory every single time. We're trying to see if the game is beatable with 100 towers. We're not trying to see if it's beatable NOL on every level. I'm not that skilled of a player after all. That's the issue though. Sometimes I'm not good at this game, alright? Frontiers is the game that I feel like I'm the weakest. I mean, in the other games I'm pretty good, like in the original, in Origins, in Vengeance obviously, but something about Frontiers just doesn't click to me. Like, I would say I'm about average in the game as far as gaming skills are considered, but if I have to do something really intense or something that's really heavy micro involved, yeah, I usually mess it up and I lose quite a few lives here and there. But whatever, it is what it is. Let's just see what we have here. We're already on the wave 14, and this wave is kinda difficult, but it's mostly because of the executioners. Because these guys have a lot of health, and we're basically relying on the insta-kill from the dwarf. And unfortunately here, the dwarf doesn't get the insta-kill properly. He doesn't insta-kill the executioner, and unfortunately I wasn't able to pull it off. I mean, yeah, 2 executioners down the drain. 15 hearts, well, we have to roll with it. We need the Rain of Fire for this guy. Nazaru! Come on, Aladdin's best friend. Let's see what you got. Yeah, you're pretty easy even with 1 tower. Sure, the little genies that you summon, they're kind of annoying because I have to move Bruxa around to take them down. Otherwise, you know, we're gonna lose even more lives, which, you know, we don't want this to happen. And yeah, he was pretty easy to say the least. And look at that, this is just 1 dwarf with Bruxa. What a disappointment of a boss. Just get off my lawn and let me through the gate to progress to the second area. And now for this one, this one, man. This level I was trying really desperately to beat with 1 tower. And I got really close, but wave 13 is just too difficult. Like, wave 13 just overwhelms you, that's what happens. You can't beat it with 1 dwarf. Maybe it is doable with like another hero, or maybe on normal mode. But for the most part I wasn't able to get further than wave 13. So yeah, if anybody can do it, then good for you. If you can send me on the video on Discord or in the comment section, I'll be really pleased with it. And yeah, I mean, it's not too difficult level, to be honest. The main issue is wave 14, as you're gonna see in a minute, where we get quite a lot of wasps. Like, this is like just swarmy McSwarms of wasps and nothing else. Like, look at that. And we only have Bruxa and reinforcements, so Bruxa will be put up to the real task. Can she take down everything? Almost. Yikes, we lost one life. Well, that was still pretty impressive nonetheless. Bruxa just annihilated most of the wasps. And with some help from the reinforcements, we just take down this wave. I mean, it wasn't easy, alright then. Everything was really close, but we were able to beat it nonetheless, so that's what matters. And wave 15 is kinda meh. Just meh. Even with all the healers, it's pretty easy. They're kind of problematic in the beginning, but once you get the dwarf, they're just insignificant. And yeah, this level is defeated. And now for this one. This one is actually not inspired by, like, this wasn't my strategy, alright? I saw some other YouTuber do it with one dwarf. I think his name was MMLH. And if you probably know about him, he collaborated with the real Morgan a while ago. And yeah, he was able to do it with one dwarf, but I wasn't quite able to pull it off, so I just bought one set of assassins. And you know, did I really needed the assassins? Probably no. With some better micro and better hero, because Nivus wasn't the best option. Yeah, I probably would have been able to complete it, but nah, I'm just gonna use assassins. I want to be safe. That's the issue with my strategies in Frontiers. I'm always over defensive. Like, I just built additional towers, even if they're not helping. I just want to make sure that the whole map is filled with towers. And yeah, even with the extra assassins there, come on! Yeah, I end up rage quitting on that one. If you saw how my mouse was shifting violently, that's why. I was just shifting the mouse violently. I was like, no! Why do you have to do this to me? You know, the whole rage part. And yeah, that level was kinda disappointing, and I definitely could have made some improvements there, but I don't have the time to do so. Now for this one. This one is a little bit easier in a way. Yeah, I know, this level is surprisingly not too hard. Sure, I probably could have cut off the crossbow fort, but I feel like it's pretty necessary, you know. It gives everybody extra range. The barrage really helps out, especially against the Gorillons, and it kind of helps out against the parasites. Even though the dwarf pretty much takes down the parasites with one furnace blast, but sometimes it may, if the timing on the furnace blast is bad, it may not be able to catch up all the parasites, and some of them could be problematic. Hence why we have the necromancer over there. Because if you didn't know that, if a parasite kills a skeleton, it will not spawn a reaper. Which is pretty interesting because you can pretty much abuse this mechanic. And yeah, we're doing a pretty decent job. However, we have a lot of Poké Riders stuck on top of each other. Look at that. Wow, that's a lot of Poké Riders there. Can we take them down? Unfortunately, for now, we can't. Oh, yeah. We're just gonna use the Rain of Fire, I know. Was it the smartest option? Probably not, but who cares? It is what it is. And now we have another clump of Poké Riders, and we're defending pretty much on the exit at this point, but in the end, we take them down with NOL. I'm proud. Now for this one, I wasn't quite able to pull it off NOL. I'm sorry. I lost like, I think 2 lives at the end, but it was pretty decent attempt, I would say. Bruxa is just amazing. Like, Bruxa and 2 battle mechas just does the trick. And if you're wondering why I have a dwarf there, it's because it's a pretty good spot. And it can catch up both lanes, which is really nice. Like, we need it, man. It has an insta-kill, which is really helpful, and it can also just clean up through the crowds with relative ease. Maybe if I went for like another battle mecha, I probably would have pulled off NOL, but I thought that the dwarf was a little bit of a better option. Who knows? Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I guess we have to I have to try it out another time. And yeah, we're doing a pretty decent job for now. And also, by the way, we're getting pretty far with the subscription already. I think we're like 140 plus subs at this point, which is nice. Like, last week I was able to hit like last week I was able to hit 100 subs, and now we're almost like 50% further, which is pretty nice. I appreciate your support, guys. I appreciate it a lot. And yeah, the last wave is kinda meh. You know, it's usually pretty intimidating because you have all these shamans in the middle, but nah. Battle Mecha doesn't give a crap about your resistances, it's just gonna decimate you. And now for this one. This one was kinda decent. It wasn't my first I wasn't able to beat it on the first try though. I think I was doing it with 2 Battle Mechas and Necromancers, but the Necromancer wasn't quite good enough, so I switched to Archmage. And the Archmage has been doing a pretty decent job for now, even though the tornadoes sometimes end up messing up like here. I used the Rain of Fire on the Gorillans, and once the Rain of Fire landed, the Archmage used the tornado, and unfortunately it pulled you know the thing. You saw. You have eyes, you can see what happens. I don't have to explain every single little bit. And yeah, if you couldn't tell, English is not my native language. If you couldn't tell already. Like, if you've been following my channel for a while, you know that sometimes I just mess up my words completely, so... Let's just get into the boss, shall we? Here he is. Yeah, he was pretty easy, I'm not gonna lie. The boss was probably the easiest part of the level. The thing that could have caused some trouble, though, was definitely the minions. The little gorillas, they have quite a lot of health, but if you have enough stalling power, you should be able to defeat them. Like, the Battle Mecha's slowdown ability, I don't remember the exact name, but it ended up coming in close quite a lot of times. And yeah, this guy goes down with relative ease, and we just have to kill a few monkeys, and we're gonna kill them. Like, do you think I'm gonna lose to this? Nah. Now for this one was really easy. The underpass have never been a tough level for me, like, at all. From the first time I played it to the last time, which is right now, yeah, it was pretty easy. As you can see, I'm using freaking Geedria up in here. And was she the best option? Probably no, she wasn't. Because, you know, she's kind of underwhelming in a way. I mean, she has some good sides, you know, she's basically an all-out support tank, to put it in the least amount of words. And yeah, she's pretty decent hero, I suppose. But the main issue about her that I have is the two abilities, the ability slots where all you do is just increase her base stats. I think one of them increased her health and the other increased her armor. And why though? Like, why? I hate those abilities with a passion. If these two abilities were changed, let's say one of them was grouped attack and the other one was single target true damage or something like that. Like, she will be 10 times better. She will be 10 times better. However, that's not the reality that we live in. Unfortunately, that's not the case. But however, we still beat the level, and that's what matters. Now for Bruxa's lair, it was a little bit of a rough one. As you can see, we're using 4 towers here, which... yeah, I don't think you can do it with less than 4 towers though, I'm pretty sure you can't. Who knows, maybe some insane player will be able to pull it off and I will look stupid, but who knows. Unfortunately, Bruxa ends up causing a little bit of a trouble because, you know, he burns up our towers occasionally, and if we get a bad timing on it, it could be pretty devastating. I thought the main issue would be the savants though, because the savants, you know, if you watch my last video, you know that they spawn a crap ton of enemies. Like, they spawn like 8 enemies, let's say. I don't remember the exact amount that they can spawn, but let's say they spawn 8 enemies. Then they walk up for a bit and they keep spawning again. Like, there's almost no delay in between that. So they're just basically spammers. They're like spammers in the chat. They just spam the same thing over and over and over again. And yeah, they're not too difficult, believe it or not. Thanks to the dwarf. The dwarf just annihilates the low tier enemies with the furnace blast. And the crossbow fort is pretty helpful. I mean, yeah, we're doing for now a pretty good job. Sure, Satan ends up dying on me, and that was definitely not a good move because I ended up losing a few lives here and there. It wasn't the perfect performance. Yeah, well, I lost to some enemies. Most of them were at like 10 health or something. Like they basically had no health left. But unfortunately, one shot was separating me from taking it. And yeah, now for this one. This one was atrocious, to say the least. Now, at wave 15, you're about to witness an atrocious micro, so if you're a perfectionist in this game, I will recommend you to skip over this part, because you will be really disappointed in me, and question my goodness in this game. Because after this level, I really thought, Am I really good at this game? Am I like as good as I thought I was? Maybe I suck, maybe I'm just an awful player, maybe my macro sucks. Or is it the fact that Nivus is an atrocious hero? I don't know, but look at the dwarf on the top. Look at that. Ah, if the melting furnace blast was 1 second earlier, if you used that 1 second earlier, we would have been fine. But whatever, we lost 4 lives. I don't really care about that. The main issue is the brutes. The brutes are the biggest issue because they have a lot of health, and unfortunately the dwarf doesn't end up killing all of them, and Nivus can't do crap about it because look at that, he has no health. How am I supposed to deal with the brutes on the top? I can't, so I end up leaking to them. Yeah, sadly we survived with 1 life. It was atrocious, I know. You can destroy me in the comment section. I will allow it. I shall allow it. And now for this one. Here he is. Bruh. Bruh. So yeah, this boss is actually not too difficult as long as you get the hang of it. When I first played this level, I thought that this is impossible. Once he gets to the second phase, he just spams the destroy button, and I run out of money really quickly, and I'm unable to pull it off. However, there is a strategy, and if you want to know what the strategy is, I will tell it to you because I love you. And also, holy crap, I lost a freaking flag enemy, so I suck! God damn it! Why do I have to be so bad at this game sometimes? I know, that was disappointing, and I know, flying enemies. I could have leaked to anything else, but I decided to leak to the freaking flag enemies. Yeah, I definitely should have went for battle mechs, but but look at the dwarf spot, man. The dwarf spot is just too good to be missed. It's amazing. So yeah, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the boss. Well, I'm not gonna spoil it to you. You will see in a minute. You'll see in a minute what we're supposed to do. And I'm using Chaos, which wasn't the best option. Because, you know, he's incontrollable. He just rushes everywhere, teleports random people. And yeah, he could be really helpful, but sometimes he could be really devastating. Which, if you're using Kaz, one hint: don't use him on the Sunken Citadel because your life will be really disappointing after this. I'm telling you that from experience. So yeah, can we kill this savant already? Can we kill it, Kaz? So thank you very much. And now, here he is. Here we have bruh. Come on, bruh. Get over here. Get over here and let me decimate you. I mean, yeah, his health is going down quite fast for now. We're looking pretty good for now. Looking good. And now, what are we supposed to do in order to avoid his second phase? All you need to do is to avoid killing his little pieces. These little pieces right here, we're not supposed to kill them. We have to leave them go through. And I end up stalling the Necromancer, which I don't know why I did it. I thought that the reason why I saw the Necromancer was because I thought that some of the skeletons may end up stall the little pieces and fail me. And believe me on this one, I was doing it mostly because out of fear. Because I was playing this level for 4 hours, and yeah, I didn't want to restart at this point again because this level is pretty long. It takes like over 20 minutes just to get to the boss. So yeah, now we just have to kill him. Come on. Get over here. There you are. Can we kill him? Oh, come on. He survived. Come on, Kaz. There you go. Now we have to kill him. Come on. Come on. Oh, are you serious? I missed it. I missed it. I suck. Alright. Well, we just have to play Ring Around the Rosie once again. Come on, Kaz. Can you stall this guy? He's almost leaking. Thank you. And yeah, I mean, was my performance great? I would say no. I definitely could have performed a little bit better. But, you know, maybe it's... I'm pretty sure that this level is beatable with 4 towers. I think there was one guy, but I don't remember his name. And this guy was able to beat it with like 4 battle mechas, which was insane to me. But I'm not that great of a player, so I just beat it with 6 towers. And Umbra will... Oh, come on, you're like 20 health. Get over here. There you go. And he goes down. So, yeah, we're donezos. We're done. We're done with Kingdom Hearts Frontiers. 50 towers, how fitting. We used half of our towers for half of the games. How fitting. This one may end up biting me in the ass later on though, because Vengeance will be pretty difficult. Because if you watch Cousinist, you know how difficult it is with no towers. Yeah, but I guess the future will tell what's gonna happen. So yeah, guys. Other than that, that's gonna do it for the video. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate you for sticking around to the end. Subscribe if you want to see more of this content in the future. And while you're at it, drop a like on the video. It means a lot to me. And before I go, you can check me out on Discord. I will leave a link down into the description, so if you wanna chat me and talk to me on private, you can check me out. And yeah, I will see you in the next video. Until it comes, that was King Rexy, over and out. Goodbye, guys.